Hey everybody, it's January here in New Jersey, and it's getting up to be really cold. The next month will be really cold. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sowing my seeds for next garden season. A lot of people they wait till spring or mid-spring to buy plants from the grocery store. I sow my seeds every year from plants that I've had for 15 years, 16 years, and a lot of them, they're just big producers. So what I do is I'll take most of the tomatoes for the summertime, but the ones that hang on the plant into the fall, they're late bloomers. I find to be the strongest plants. So I'm going to show you how to make your own seeds. You don't have to buy tomato seeds to make tomato seeds. Okay. This one was a beefsteak from the late in the year. This actually turned red around September, and this one here was I think this was some kind of plum. I don't know. It was weird shape, but I've had it for a very long time. So let me show you how you do this. You get yourself a jar, a mason jar. The way I do it is big for big. Big jar, big tomatoes. Small jar, small tomatoes. So you take the big jar, you cut your tomato, and you see how it's just bursting with seeds. That's what we're looking for. We let it go from green to ripening up on its own. Try and squeeze them all out. If some pulp gets in there, that's cool. It's okay. Right in there. And that'll be the, there's some more in here. I gotta save these. Get them in the jar. Get as many as you can. Mix it around a little bit, and I take spring water or well water, and I'll age it for about 3 or 4 months in the garage, and we add water to that, just like that. Mix it around, and then, if this wasn't interesting enough, we put a sock over it. Over the jar like that, and we'll put this up in the window by the heat for 3 days until mold forms on the top, because these seeds have to ferment, and that's how the tomato, like if you take tomatoes that you had from the year before and you throw them up against the shed and bust them in the spring, they've fermented in the case, and they'll grow tomato plants. So the next one is our smaller version. We'll cut it, and you see how they're popping out. That's because they've been slowly fermenting already, because this has been going since September. I picked these suckers when they were green, I think. Get them all out. Get them in there. Don't leave the skin, but you can get some pulp in there. Get in there, you weasel. Okay. And then put some water in there. I'm gonna get a little more water. Get a little more water. Hold on. Stand by. That's YouTube, man. You're never prepared. But add some more to that. Spin it, shake it. And I find when, I'll call it the blood of the tomato. When the blood of the tomato spills on the, every seed is important, spills on the table, I wipe it up. and this helps the fermenting process. Put a sock on there. The socks are clean, all right? Laugh it off. Socks are clean. In the window, we'll let them ferment for 3 days. You can discard this afterwards. There's a couple more seeds here. Hold on. I wiped my pants. Get in there. Get in there, I tell you. Get in there. Every seed's important. Because for every seed, you get a tomato plant. Okay. So in these 2 jars, I have probably 100 tomato plants. And I'll ferment these for 3 days. And after 3 days, you have to see mold growing on top. You got to see that mold growing on top. Once the mold's grown on top, we'll take them out. We'll put them in paper towels. We'll let them dry out for an additional 2 days. After they dry out, you can store them for 3 years if you're so inclined. But probably in a week or so, I'll start planting them so I can have viable plants for the summertime. I don't buy tomatoes from the store. I grow them. And if I have to supplement it, if people are coming over, yeah, I'll buy a couple tomatoes from the store. But I try to grow most of the stuff myself. On another way off topic, have you ever heard the term being scanned? There's a new technology out there that people have a laptop case they carry on them, or a little bag they carry with a computer in there that scans credit cards. I was actually scanned the other day. I went to Lowe's to buy that LED flashlight, that LED light for the house, and when I was looking at the bulbs, there was like 4 different bulbs. I was looking at the bulbs and I was checking them out, and I was comparing the lumens, and I thought it was strange. There was a guy hovering behind me. He was on my left side, he was on my right side. He really didn't look like he was looking at anything. And then he was behind me for a while, and I was so enthralled with the light bulb, I didn't, my antennas went up a little bit, but I didn't think he was a threat. But what he did was, he had a scanning device on him. And what he did was, he scanned my credit cards. And in doing that, what he did was, he sucked about $400 out of my bank account. So I went to the bank this morning and I got everything straightened out. I should get my money back in a couple of weeks, but be careful. And I always advocated having these debit cards on you, but with the new technology and the thieves are really getting sharp, you can get hacked and get screwed. So I did get screwed, but I'll be getting all my money back. Some of the credit cards that I had were encoded, and he couldn't get that information, but he took it right from my debit card. He went to an instant transfer. What he did was he authorized $1, and it was pretty slick, I gotta say that. I had just got gas the day before, and it was almost the exact amount that I thought the gas would be. So I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's probably my gas. And when I woke up this morning, I saw there was an additional authorization charge for $1, and when I went to the bank, he had charged that amount of money. And it was still a pending transaction, so he's not going to get his money. And I reported it. So watch out, guys. When you're out, if you're going to travel with credit cards, get those little stainless steel cases that protect your credit cards. I think from this point on, I'm going to start carrying cash. I know that sounds a little wacky at these times, but I'm going to do it. Later, guys.